We've partnered with the Mad Queen Show and Upper Echelon Gamers to bring you extensive E3 coverage. Sub to both of their channels for unique E3 content. Links in the description.
We're back with more hype-free impressions, and this time I'm going to be tackling Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I was not able to get my hands on and actually physically play the game, but I was in a back room watching a showcase and seeing quite a bit about it, enough to get a pretty good grasp of what you're going to be, and all of us are going to be experiencing upon launch. I'm going to start off with the one, I guess, drawback that I saw with the game, because there are so many positives, and I don't want to just dive right into the hype end of the spectrum. Dialogue. There will be a myriad of different choices in dialogue, and they will have a large effect on gameplay. You're gonna be able to select different outcomes and spur different situations based on the choices that you make. However, you're not going to be saying the exact same things that pop up, and this just, for me, was a little bit of a pet peeve. And again, it's gonna be mostly all positive from here on out. They'll be showing things on screen, and you will select that option, and then your character might say something completely different to the same end and the same effect, but it's just not quite the same as, you know, seeing something. There might be a witty comment in the dialogue that you select and you see, and then she'll say some other comment, and if you're really into the role-playing aspect of things, the dialogue choices might not be all that great. However, their impact is very real, so you will have a lot of different choices, a lot of different, you know, things that you can say that will truly impact how you go about completing quests, and that's a really odd place to start, but now we're going to jump into the really, really positive things. The number one thing that you've got to know about Cyberpunk, it's CD Projekt Red, and they're known for The Witcher 3, obviously, and this game I do not believe will be a departure from the same kind of format, the same level of polish, the same level of detail, care, and execution. The world density in Cyberpunk 2077 is phenomenal. Now, I don't know how many of the NPCs you can interact with, but on a stroll through the city, you will have any number of thugs and street dealers and random other characters that will pop up, and you can scan them with these cybernetic eyes if you'd like to, if you choose to go down that route. There's a lot of different ways, there are things that you can see and understand that perhaps in the full game you'll be able to interact with them, but I'm not positive how many, and the density does appear to be very good. When you have a map that's as large as Cyberpunk is going to be, and Cyberpunk is going to have a larger map than Witcher 3 by a huge margin, and there will not be loading screens. They've disguised loading screens in such a way as to be in elevators or in various other areas. So you're not going to be experiencing a ton of loading screens, which is really unique and I thought was very, very cool. But when you populate that map, you have to make sure that players are not bored in transit from one location to the other. Otherwise, you create huge amounts of dead space. There did not appear to be dead space, at least in this demo, though it was, you know, quite polished and put together specifically for us. But there really didn't seem to be a lot of dead space. So that was nice. Density was one thing that I was worried about, and it was a positive showing from there. The alternate paths. When you are approaching a quest, there was one quest that we did, one quest that we tackled, and they discussed some of the alternative paths. There was a robot that you had to get back. It was a fairly expensive military-grade robot that had been taken by a specific sub-gang or subset of criminals. Now, these criminals were very cool, and you had to approach the situation however you wanted. You could either buy back the robot with the collaboration help of one of the mega corporation agents. You could go in guns blazing and steal it back or forcefully take it. You could earn the money yourself to buy it and then never involve the mega corporation agent at all. You could do any number of things, and it was clear that they would have a dramatic impact on the amount of resources that you had by keeping 50,000 credits, or eddies as they're called, which is short for Euro dollars. You could keep that and, you know, have more resources at your disposal, or you could, you know, play some other way. And the negotiation itself felt fluid, it felt dynamic as you were discussing things with this lead, you know, angry cyber criminal guy with all, you know, the leader of it all. It felt really good. The discussion, the tension in the situation was phenomenally well done. Moving on, we do have pets in Cyberpunk 2077. There will be entities or robots or various other forms of this that will follow you around, and you are able to, in some ways, control, do have access to abilities, and will help you. The little spider robot that we ended up freeing will climb along the ceiling, and we didn't see the full range of its capabilities, but there will be some form of companion system, pet system, and that's really cool to see as well. There will be vehicles. There was a full driving scene where you get in one of the many available cars, and it's a pretty cool car. I mean, the Cyberpunk universe, the post-apocalyptic almost level of dystopian future with a lot of tech going on, but so much so that it's devolved and that you know, society as a whole has kind of crumbled back into anarchy with certain key players positioned in positions of power. But there will be vehicles, and there should be a wide range of them. The one that we drove around and got to see drive around was very, very cool, and I was not fully expecting that. You know, sometimes games are lacking in any one of these categories. Certain games that I've covered on the channel before don't have access to vehicles at all, nor will they ever. Cyberpunk 2077 will have vehicles, and they appear to be pretty cool. The overlay is very clean, it's very simplistic. The rolling system for characters, the character creation is extremely in-depth, and the customization is on point. If you want to make your character look a certain way, odds are you will be able to do that. It was very polished, it was very intuitively done, so that they stay true to the roots of this being a pen and paper RPG at its core. That was my last point. It is true to the lore, so if you are coming to this from Cyberpunk 2020, you will be pleased. I can almost guarantee that. It's something that tackles a first-person perspective take on a very eclectic, chaotic, dystopian technology future and brings it into the modern era of gaming. There are a lot of different cybernetic enhancements. There are a lot of different weapons. You have a certain weapon where you can scope in with a basic box that will then have tracking bullets that fire. There was ricochet rounds. You could fire them off of corners and hit enemies. There are a whole bunch of different, you know, stim kits, or I'm not really sure the name for them, that you can take during combat to give yourself basic boosts. You can slow down time. There was a shotgun that can charge up and fire through objects at great range. There are weak points on enemies. There was a exoskeleton enemy that got taken down by destroying a weak point. He had a automatic shield that would wrap around him, and he was a difficult enemy to fight. It was an extremely pleasant experience to watch, knowing that there are a lot of elements in it that I personally will enjoy, and I'll keep it free of the blind hype, because of course there might be drawbacks. It's an ambitious project, perhaps glitches, you know, perhaps the loading screen feature might get repetitive with elevators, etc. But it doesn't appear that way. It appears that it's been very well composed, and I could not be happier to have been invited, so thank you to CD Projekt Red for that. I wish I could show you more physical things, or have taken video or taken pictures, but that really is all that I have right now.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and sub, write your most profound thoughts in the comments down below, and then check out some of these other videos.
What if it rains?
Find the link to our Discord server and other important stuff in the description below.